One of the things that I noticed left-leaning people love to do is changing history in order to fit their talking points. And here you have an example. You have this person on Twitter with 235,000 views claiming that feminist frequency was such a bizarre phenomenon because every video was just Anita Sarkeesian going, it would be cool if women in video games could have thoughts and feelings, and this netted her a decade of unceasing death threats. Now, this is actually very difficult to debunk because you would have to rewatch Anita Sarkeesian videos. They're still up there on YouTube. Anyone can watch them and see that this is bullshit. But who's going to do that, right? I did that. I did that for you in order to debunk this. Like, first of all, saying that she got a decades of unceasing death threats means that you have to take her word for it. Now, I do not understand how left-leaning people manage to navigate the internet without getting conned or scammed by various nefarious actors, because they seem to believe literally everyone. Like, if you tell a leftist person something, they will believe you. This is nice, you know, but it's very gullible. The only thing that Anita Sarkeesian claims is that she did get those threats, but we never see the receipts. The FBI never managed to catch anyone. The police never managed to find anyone. People on the internet did find someone at some point. It was a Brazilian game journalist that was sending her death threats. She didn't press charges or even acknowledge it. So, no, this is false. The other thing that's false is that she said it would be cool if women in video games could have thoughts and feelings. First of all, women in video games aren't actual women. I know this is mind-blowing for the leftist intellectual, but pixels on the screen do not count as actual people, right? Like, they do not have human rights. They do not have obligations. If we were in a war, like if you're in Ukraine and the Russians are invading, you're not saying, quick, let's help the women from video games to escape the country because the Russians are coming, right? Like, sane people, normal human beings do not think this way. But secondly, even if we were to assume that women in video games are real, they already had thoughts and feelings. Baldur's Gate came before Anita Sarkeesian. It has some very good female characters. Neverwinter Nights, another example. Star Wars of the Knights Republic. I could go on and on. Usually role-playing games focused more on feelings because back then technology wasn't that advanced and most games had a very basic story in order to save resources, in order to save the budget on voice acting, so on and so forth. But the claim that now female characters have feelings because of Anita Sarkeesian is a complete rewriting of history. The other thing is that she didn't just do this, right? Like, what she did was that she claimed that the developers were misogynistic pigs and they created games in order to turn other people into misogynistic pigs. And if you like playing video game, you are a misogynistic pig as well, and probably a racist. That's what her videos were implying. Some of them were outright saying this. Like, for example, she suggested that the developers of the game Hitman were misogynistic pigs because they included a scene with a sex club. Like, the game took place in one, right? So that is misogynistic. Misogynistic pigs. Now, back then, the gamer identity was strong, just like, like some people have a black identity, other people have a Jewish identity. Back then, it was customary for people to choose an identity rather than the things that they were born with, right? So, like, some people wanted to be gamers. Other people were rockers. Other people were goth. Some people were furries. But basically, like, people were expressing their chosen identity a lot more than the identity politics that was then forced upon them and put them in a box. But back then, many people identify as gamers. So when you had this bizarre individual, which was insulting an entire identity group, like, all of you are misogynistic pigs. Yeah, they got upset. And some of them criticized her and gave her harsh words on Twitter. And, this is death threats and abuse. Okay. So her abusing an entire community and group of people, that's fine. All right, I understand. That's one problem. Another problem is the fact that she was a con artist. Like, she claims she played video games up until this day. I do not think that there is any internet footage of her playing video games. And this gets us back to my previous question. How the fuck do left-leaning people manage to go through the internet without getting scammed and conned? Because they seem to believe anyone. Like, as long as you tell something to a leftist person, they will believe you. So, I don't believe her. I don't think she's a gamer. She never played video games. Never did a Let's Play, as far as I know. Like, please correct me if I'm wrong. There was, like, a single time when she almost played the video game, like she was supposed to do it, came on screen, stood there for a couple of minutes, and then left because she had guests to attend. It was like at a certain meeting. But anyway, right, so people found videos of her saying that she never liked video games, she never played video games. So, like, why the fuck was she there? Well, she was there to push an agenda. That's why she was there. And the agenda was very simple: to get money for her NGO, right? To get money for Feminist Frequency. I think like she managed to rake over $1 million during the plight of her life, which was Gamergate. But that's when she made the most money. And she also was there to call game developers misogynistic pigs, but that's okay. You know, you can stop being a misogynistic pig by hiring her company for consulting. I forgot the name of the company. It was something like Silverline or some shit. Like, there was this consultant company which made sure that you don't write misogynistic characters in your video game if you hire them. Of course, they costed money. They were expensive. It was almost like a racketing business, wasn't it? So that's my impression of what was going on. But eventually companies realized, well, hold on a little bit. Like, why can't we hire in-house? Well, why can't we hire the plump, massive corporeal manifestation of a diversity officer and an HR lady? And those are going to guarantee that we make games that aren't misogynistic in nature. And since that day, Anita stopped being important. Like, no one cares. Like, what is she going to do? Shame Blizzard? Blizzard has like already a plump diversity officer which is there working at the company, making sure that the games are misogynistic. Go have a conversation with her, Anita. You know, go talk with that person, which I'm pretty much sure it's a black woman last time I checked. So yeah, you as a white lady, go tell that woman that she doesn't know how to write female characters. Would be interesting as a conversation. But from an identity politics point of view, you don't really have an argument against her. So that's what happened, right? She also did this to CD Projekt Red, like her partner in crime, Jonathan McIntosh, which was the brain of the operation, picked on The Witcher for being sexist, and the game was misogynistic. And then next year, Anita was like, oh, you're trapped in a scandal for being misogynistic. Why don't you hire me and I can help you improve? I mean, it was on such a surface level. It was borderline disgusting. But the female characters never recovered, by the way. Like, her whole shtick was to remove all sexuality from female characters in the game and make sure that female characters never encounter any hardship, are never placed in any danger. And, you know, you have the modern, toxic masculinity suffering female character that we see today. This is why Baldur's Gate has 4 different body types and 3 penis sliders, but unfortunately doesn't let you choose the breast size or customize the face of your character. Like this is where we're at. So no, like, she definitely wasn't a net positive for the gaming industry, but I think like even without her, things would have degenerated to where they are now anyway, to the point where if you want to play video games, you have to support genuine diversity and get video games from the Japanese, from the South Koreans. Like, they still know how to make entertainment. Unfortunately, the art of entertainment is completely lost in the West in favor for praising BlackRock. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will find you in the comment section. Take care.